Hello, everyone. Welcome to Alion's Joy today. I am glad to see you. I'm glad you are joining me on this episode of Alion's Joy on Win Win Women TV. And we're on Roku, and we're on Amazon Fire, and we're on Apple TV. So I hope you are watching today. We're going to talk a little bit about mindset and the things that are going on up here, right? So I hope you are here for the show. I hope you are here afterwards for answering questions and discussing things and exchanging fun thoughts together. I'm very glad to see you. If you are watching the replay, of course, always comment on YouTube or comment on the show itself by contacting me, elionhaan.com. I'm very easy to find, and I'm very, very happy to do the show with you today. I love the topic of mindset and all the things that I can share with you because I had to learn the hard way. I didn't really know what my thinking was bringing to my life or what my thoughts were doing to me or even, to my life in a sort of an obstruction way. So I hope you get a little bit out of it today and go with me into that. What can I do with that mindset of mine? And why is it affecting my life so much? And it's always that, it's always just a way of a sort of affecting our lives because it is very known that the way we think, and now there's way more known about that, right? The way we think is going to affect the outcome of our life. And we used to just do a lot of, we had a lot of belief systems that things would just happen and fall in place as long as we just kind of walk the course. And, as long as we go along with the process, and then sometimes we see progress and sometimes we don't. In my past, there was a lot of times that I didn't see it at all. And I just didn't know that my thinking had a lot to do with it and that I could actually change that. So I want to share a little bit with that story of that story of mindset with you today, and a little bit about my story. When I was young, I mean, I had a happy childhood to a certain point. My mom and dad passed away. So in my 20s and 30s, there was trauma. There was just things that I had to figure out and that I didn't really know how to. And there was love life pain, right? So when I started moving on, for instance, when I came to the United States, I didn't really know that I was just kind of in that holding pattern. I didn't really know what to do, really. I was in a new place, I was in a new country, I was in a new state of being single after a failed marriage. And I did think that things would fall in place. And I would also just believe that there was a course that would kind of like flow, and the course would take its course, right? And that things would fall in place. And it was really just many, many times. Now I know this. I was really many times thinking for things to make me happy. So I was thinking that things would fall in place to make me happy. If I was in a bad spot, then that would probably be because I wasn't happily married, or I wasn't able to buy a house yet, or I didn't have a family yet. So, in other words, if I would have a family and I would be happily married or I would have children, then I would probably be married. So, as long as that will fall in place and that will come along, then I will find my happiness. In other words, I was kind of like in a waiting pattern, was kind of waiting for things to fall in place so I could be happy. And I talk about that a lot, you know that. But it's one of my pet peeves. It's so important that we know this. And it's so important that we just not know only this, but that we start implementing that in our life, right? And that has so much to do with our own background and with afterwards, like what happened to me seeing that the boat came by and I missed it. I didn't get on. So, in other words, I didn't grab a lot of opportunity to learn about myself, to see the things that I was doing, and to see the fact that I was actually waiting on people, on places, on things, on events to make me happy, instead of just looking inside and trying to find out how I could work on every action, every plan to make things better for myself. I wasn't really seeing that for a long time. And I had to learn. I picked up courses. I started to study. I started working on my mental health. I started working on becoming more knowledgeable about the things that I would, could do for myself, and the things that would fall in place afterwards so that I could see that I was making progress. And how can I do that from that perspective? If I really am not in a happy place, I'm not in a peaceful place, how can somebody come along and just tell me, well, you can create that with your thinking? Ah, yeah, yeah, of course, right? So, for instance, the very first time that these courses came along about positive thinking and the law of attraction, I was thinking, yeah, that works for people if they're already very, very happy, or if they're already in a good place. And of course, that is just, yeah, obviously, you just kind of add on to your happiness there. And, you just attract everything that you want because you already have it all. But I didn't really see that there was some truth to that. And now I can tell everybody, as I do a lot, we're always updating everything around us with all the things we have now: computers, telephones, televisions, everything is online, and we constantly have to update, right? And now, so I invite you today to think that way for yourself. Why are you not update the most important software that you have, the most important software that you can work with? Your own thinking, your own brain, right? It's very important that we kind of update it as well. And what is it then? What is our thinking? What is our mindset? How can I tell today that I have a good mindset, that I'm in a good place, that I have a happy thought? How do you assess that even, right? How do you improve that even? How can we move forwards to have about everything a better mindset, a set of beliefs, right? What is a mindset? It's a set of beliefs. And I work with my clients a lot on that because we have sometimes limited beliefs, right? I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. And the limited beliefs are the ones that I was thinking from. So I will never be good enough to do this. I'll never have that. I probably don't have the qualities or the skills to move forward, so to attain that, or to even have a good job, or I don't fit in a corporate environment, or I do not get along with so and so, so I know this is not going to work out. Why do we have these thoughts? Why do we have those limiting beliefs? We believe that because at some point we were told to believe that, or even at sometimes we were taught to believe that, or we were shown to believe that by everybody that had been around us in our childhood, or maybe in education, or maybe in early upbringing, or maybe even in our studies, the people around us in our young adult lives, things that we were doing and the things that we were seeing around us was making us believe certain things. If somebody else was better at it, then I was probably never going to be good at it, right? But all that mindset, all that belief, and even those limiting beliefs will really affect how you think and respond to various situations. And that also, of course, from that point on, affects the outcome in a variety of situations. We can always go back to that mindset. We can always go back to our brain, to our thinking. Our thinking really determines how we prepare and how we persevere and how we are standing in the world, how we execute things, how we perform on certain actions. It really determines everything. And once you get to know that, it becomes a really fun thing. We can really start playing around with that. We can really start modify our thinking, and thus modify a lot of outcome for ourselves. What can we do when we are in that fixed mindset, as we call that, to come to a growth mindset, right? Success in life. And I talk about a lot about success in life. What does that mean for you? How does that fall in place? What is that mean? What is that meaningful for you? And success doesn't always have to do with being the big millionaire on top of the in the CEO seat on top of a big company, right? It doesn't mean that. Success doesn't mean to be the best football player or a basketball player or the top performer out there in sports athletes, or even in music or in Hollywood, singing, dance, performing, or even in the movies. Those people to us are successful. But there are a lot of things that we don't see right behind that. What is your personal success? What does that mean? Does that mean for you to be very happy in your career and wake up every morning because you're doing something that feels really good, gives you a sense of purpose, and it makes you feel um, it makes you feel not just successful but appreciated, right? Is that success for you? Or is it just having your family around and being just there for them and being able to really just contribute to a wonderful family life and helping others in your family, even helping your parents or even helping elderly elsewhere? Is it your job in a volunteer situation where you're doing something to contribute and make people happy and contribute to that outcome? There is a lot to say for what the meaning of success is for you. For me, it always has been a place where I feel that most things that we discuss in sometimes the different varieties of life, right? The different pieces of the pie, I call that. For me, success means that those are all equally balanced. So I'm equally giving to my spiritual life as I do to my health, as I do to my work and my purpose, as I do to my relationships, my marriage, the children, right? People around me, friends. Um, it's equally important that I give to my dream and that I spend time on where I want to go next and plan, right? It's equally important that I take care of my well-being and my me time. So I have all these things in place. If I have all these things equally balanced, then I come more to a place of feeling that I'm in a growth mindset because I'm in control of those things, right? Are you avoiding? Are you fearing challenges? Or are you actually embrace them and say, this is a challenge, I have a choice, I have a chance to make changes for myself, right? And how do you view obstacles and things that are coming on your way and that are difficult and that you have to do some work for? Are you going to give easily up or you're not giving it any effort? Or are you going to overcome and you're going to be persistent and you're going to work your way through it and you have an action plan, right? That is a growth mindset. And if people are judging you or you fear criticism, do you avoid it? Do you fear it? I mean, are you always avoiding people because of that? Or do you actually know in a growth mindset that you can learn from it and that you can just pass by it and that you can just choose not to take it personal? You can learn from it or you can just seek it and know that that is not the right place for you. So not to take it personal, and then next time just go around it, right? That is not avoiding, that is the knowledge of what you can do with it. And if it's obviously positive criticism, yes, you can learn from that, right? It's very important. Are you feeling that other people around you that are very successful, are you in a fixed mindset of being threatened by that? Sometimes even a little envy or jealous? Or do you see that as an inspiration and you just want to be like them and you just want to find lessons in it, right? Those are very important things that we can do for a growth mindset. So instead of seeing challenges as something that we have to avoid, something that we have to fear, we can embrace it, right? Criticism, we can learn from it. Success of others, we can really copy it and find it a big inspiration. So when you are going to that fixed mindset, then you are really in a feel of complacency. And I know a lot of us feel that sometimes, right? I have been in that place. I have been in that plateau feeling. I have been in that place of complacency. Well, fine. Okay, it is what it is. I'm just going to deal with it. Mm, right? Just a place of just not really seeing anything there. Maybe it's an acceptance, but it's from a negative place. And I really wanted to become that person of growth, of continuous enthusiasm for learning and for more achieving and for higher performance. And where did I need to find that? Going back to the little girl that I felt that I was, not being able to come to that place, it was a it was a long learning curve. I can't say that it was not taking a long time to become to come to the other side. But do we have to stay there? No. We are already seeing immediate results if we are going to put some things in action for ourselves. And most of that, again, is in our mind, right? Do not stick in that place of I'm the loser, but go to that place of I can have it all. But you have to do the work for it. That's really important. We have to believe in the first place. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe that we can be somebody, that we can have a good contribution to the people around us, to our workplace, to our career. It depends on what you want to do. I always wanted to teach and help people and really help people move forward, right? In the beginning, it was all physical. Now it's physical, mental, and spiritual. I want to help people move forward through life. I want to help people move through anxiety. And that's my mindset now. And I am very successful at that. But you can do that too, because we just have to believe that we can do that. I had to believe that I had to start think different, that I had to put my mindset towards a successful mindset instead of I'm going to lose this battle, I'm going to lose this game. I had to get the self-esteem and believe that I could make a change and in my own life and maybe even a change to others, right? And for that, I had to have a vision. I had to start seeing that unbelievable, amazing outcome, the choices and the changes and the challenges that I could really bring forward into a mindset of success. So my thoughts had to change and to go up there and do some work so that I could do that update in my thinking. And that came slowly but surely. And I can never even go back. I have that plan. If I help people, if I help my clients in coaching with anxiety, for instance, then the first thing that I can always tell them, beside the obvious things that I talk about a lot, I give you so many shows about anxiety and meditation, anxiety and mindfulness practice, anxiety and go walk it off, anxiety and play music and do some fun exercise. The things that make you happy and take you out of that physical anxiety. But what you can do for anxiety as well is making a good plan. And if you have that vision and if you have that plan of where you want to go, things are becoming so much easier. And you will feel that anxiety about not knowing what's going to happen or not knowing what to do. You feel that drift away because you have a plan and you're going to take some action towards that plan, right? We have the vision, we have to dream. As Fowler coaches, we all do that. We are creating this vision with you. What is it that you really would like and would love and would dream of, right? What is that vision? Where do you want to be? And then we're going to just make a little plan and then we're going to put that in action. So it takes the anxiety out of it. It takes the anxiety away if you have a plan and you can already anticipate the outcome because you're doing the steps, you're doing the things that you need to do for that. For instance, I want to speak more about my book, right? I want to speak about my next book that is coming out hopefully this summer. I'm working on it. So what do I do for that vision? To promote a book and speak about it and just really be excited about the content of my book 60 Miles from Neiman's and my upcoming book, How to Get Your Sexy Back, right? So these things, these visions are there. And so what I have to do is make those plans and then reach out. Okay, take the action. I gotta reach out for speaking opportunities. I'm gonna work with my business coach. I am going to take little steps towards the next day of how much I can accomplish and get achieved. So all that is really, really, really important. So if you still feel a little bit overwhelmed and you don't really know what it is, then please reach out, right? Please reach out to me because I can help you with that. And I will always give you a free session to set up where we can go together, right? To kind of get an idea of what you need or why you get stuck or why you just feel anxious still about things. A fixed mindset can still show up. I can still feel it sometimes, right? Sometimes I just can think, oh my gosh, they're not going to be interested in me. Or I'm just out of shape right now, right? Or maybe I'm just a little bit too old to take a chance in my career like that. Why would anybody want to be with me right now or listen to me, right? And I can even feel sometimes the obstacles in my professional life, right? I cannot apply for that. Maybe that's a little bit out of my league. Maybe I'm just not good enough at public speaking, or maybe I just don't have the credentials for it. All these thoughts are a fixed mindset. All these thoughts are a fixed mindset. It is my imposter syndrome, right? I know all these things, but I think that others know more, right? It's maybe not my time and maybe not the way now to bring this up. Oh, people already know that. And a lot of people suffer from that. And of course, that comes back once in a while. You are just constantly in your head, overthinking everything and not with a positive outcome. So, going back to that belief and going back to that thing, what you need to do is just believe. Give yourself that self esteem talk, give yourself that pep talk, give yourself the confidence to just move straight through those thoughts and go up, keeping your head up and go back up, take action towards the next step, right? Like I said, I have a mentor, I have a coach, the best, absolute best. Reach out if you want to know who I'm working with. Absolute best, right? Celebrate your wins, celebrate all your accomplishments. Go look back and see, oh my gosh, I've already did that before. I just kind of got stuck in my head that I couldn't do it, but I already did it before, right? Take action constantly. Move, move, move. The things that you can do to improve, right? Prepare yourself, take action, take the next step, and just look back at, oh, another thing accomplished, right? So you have to step out of the comfort zone. You come a little bit in that fearful zone, right? There's that mindset, right? That little imposter syndrome. But now you just go through that and you come to that learning zone like, oh, look, I just did that. I just acquired those skills. I just stepped on the stage. Then you're really coming to that growth place of growth, right? It's really, really intentional. It's really intentional for you to step into where you want to go. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Whatever you focus on, it will manifest. If you're going to focus on being sick all the time, if you feel that you're going to be sick all the time, you feel sick all the time, probably be. Is my narrative, oh, wow, I have so many exciting things coming up next month. I'm going to just take some action. I'm going to put it in place. Right? So let's do it together. I hope I gave you some information today that you can work with. Be intentional about your language, about your mind, about your thoughts. Be intentional about what they actually tell you. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I am great. I can be. I believe I can. Right? I am great as my potential lays in that. And whatever it is for you, if it is the job that you do, the career, or the things that you want to contribute in a group with other people, in your family, you can always shine and be great at your job. Because if it's what you love to do, you get better at it if you're open to it, right? Don't hold yourself back. Self-talk can be negative, self-talk can be positive. It is just as simple as that. But I'll give you 3 nuggets to close with. Don't listen to other people. Don't let other people judge you. Don't let other people make you feel down. Just don't listen to it, right? They have a reason. Maybe something you don't need to know. Don't let judgment impair you, right? It's very important. And then if you're going to try to live up to everybody else's dream and the things that they want for you, maybe that's not your thing either. So number 2, just let go of these expectations. And don't put so much expectations on yourself. Just make a nice and decent plan. Use a mentor, use a coach. That's what I'm here for. Something that is attainable and realistic. That's what we want to do. And then just be creative. Let your inner self out. Just let it flow. Just let it flow, because you are not afraid of the judgment. You are not afraid of how it comes across, because you're so in it. You're so dedicated. You're so creative and passionate about it. So it is something that you need to do, whatever it is. If you need help, please reach out to elionhaan.com. Please email me or set up a calendar appointment or anything that you would like to do to have that little free conversation. Absolutely. The first conversation is complimentary. Absolutely. Reach out and talk to me if you have any questions. And of course, I hope to see you next week. Let's do more and let's talk. I'm glad you were here today and I'm glad you visited Alien's Joy. I hope I could bring you some joy today. And I'll see you next Saturday. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining. Super grateful. Love you. I'll see you next week on Alien's Joy.